Out of Order
English podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment you've been waiting for. Out of Order English podcast has just started. Welcome. Hello dear listeners, Out of Order English Podcast, episode number 4. After a long time, after a long break, we are again in front of you. And we have a guest. Yeah, of course, Steve is not a guest, he's a host.
Am I?
Don't you know that, Steve?
Oh, thanks for clarifying that for me.
All the time you say at the end of the program, you just say, the time flew by one more time. So, yeah, let's save some seconds by not introducing you because everyone knows you. And our guest today is Katalea. Hello, Katalea.
Hello, guys.
Katalea, yeah, we just met with you and we have actually a list of guests to have in our podcast. But like I tried to reach to some friends, but they were not ready. So you are the lucky one actually, because I mean like you joined a little bit late, you knocked the door, but we opened it to you. How do you feel?
Yeah, definitely. I was the luckiest one, I guess. I was not expecting that I would join the podcast, but yeah, it's good. Good to be with you.
You are today's victim.
Today's victim. Okay, we will decide at the end of the podcast.
Yeah, that's a good one. Steve, as usual, we got lots of positive and encouraging feedbacks. And actually, I want to do reading some comments for the previous episode on YouTube. And let me say that to our listeners. If they have any question, for example, maybe Steve can answer or help you with, you can leave a comment under the last video and in the next episode. Yeah, I mean, like we tries to handle it tries to process it. Omar Matus says, hi Steve and Ben, excellent space for improve my English. Amanda says, wow, this one I can't say anything about it.
All right.
What do you mean, Amanda? She said, I am speechless. It's extraordinary.
Well, we don't want to make people speechless. We want people to speak up and type a comment so that we get some feedback.
Oh yeah, for sure. And actually, Amanda, she is also one of the, in quote, victim, at least candidate victim. Can we say candidate victim, Steve?
A candidate for a victim, yes.
One more time she escaped from it. She just found the excuse and convinced me. She's about to leave a couple weeks more. Okay, she said all the best, and Riley, she said it was amazing as usual. By the way, singing part is my favorite band. Wow, Riley, thank you. Yeah, I didn't expect that, of course. Savira, by the way, she's also a live audience, live listeners now. Yeah, she says the audience is waiting for Ben's poem.
Exactly. I'm waiting the same thing, yeah.
Today, yeah, I hope so. I will try that because I was keep delaying it, postponing it. But today, I think I will.
Yeah.
I will. You will not be able to forbid me. Even though, for example, go deep into some topic, I will stop you and say to you, it's my time to read a poem.
Well, I think if you read the poem now, then you get it out of the way and you can say, well, I've definitely got the poem in this time.
Yeah, at that time I will be relaxed because now, for example, I feel excited to how can I handle it? How can I make Katalea and Steve talk less so that I can save time for my poem? Yeah, but yeah, okay. 2-3 comments left. Fred said, thank you for your very good work. The sound is great, the conversations are easy to understand, and the speaking speed is good. Can't wait to listen to the new episode.
Thank you, Fred.
Ihtiyar said, amazing podcast. Thank you. Eagle Top Mountain, congratulations. Thank you. And okay, I made the introduction, I made the starting point, and now the ball passed to you, Steve.
The ball passes to me. Okay, I'm going to kick it to the left and then pass it forward. Can you see it? Can you see it?
Don't throw it to me back because I will not give it to you back.
I don't want you to hurt your neck. You've got a pain. You're a pain in the neck already. We don't want to hurt you.
Yeah, and it is not metaphorically. It is literally.
Literally.
Thank you for your understanding, Steve.
Well, I'm a very understanding person.
An humble one.
For sure. Katalea, would you like to introduce yourself to us?
Sure. Katalea, it's a nickname, but I'm from Turkey. And an English teacher.
Wow.
What should I say? I'm 23.
Uh-huh.
What else? Like, I'm enjoying talking to you guys.
We're enjoying the fact that you've actually joined us here, which is really nice, thank you. And I hadn't met you until last night when we had a bit of a chat, which was really nice, thank you.
Yeah, like, it is always nice to be around you still, like, because you're just spreading some positive energy to everyone, especially the new English learners. You're just motivating them and correcting their mistakes if they want. It's a good sign. Like, we want to see these kind of people around Pre4Talk a lot.
It would be nice if there were more native English speakers there, but unfortunately they don't come regularly, and some of them aren't really interested in helping others. But I get a nice buzz from it. I always like to see when new people come in and ask a usual question of what can I do to improve? How can I improve and get better at pronunciation and stuff like that? And it's nice to pass on some useful tips and tricks or suggestions that help people. It's useful when you do something that's helpful.
Exactly.
You, Steve, I mean, like when you are in a place or in an environment, you put value there. Pre4Talk gain some value because you are there, and of course our podcast, like Out of Order English podcast, because you are here, it is valuable.
Well, that's very kind. I like to help when I can, if I can. Sometimes I can. Sometimes I think I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But if I'm able to, then I'm happy to.
Personally, for me, it is always so special for me to interact with natives. Like, I think it's the same for every language learners. To use the language with their native speakers. It feels like you are using it, and the people like whose native language, whose mother tongue is English, you can interact with them, like not like second language learners like me, but it gives a different taste.
Well, any experience is good, and if you've got a chance to be able to communicate with others and have a conversation, that's the most important thing, is to try and get into conversations. A lot of people sit back and think, oh, I'm not going to speak, I'm just going to listen. But it's so important to try and join a conversation or start a conversation if you can, because you're then taking that first step. And that's usually the hardest one, is to take that first step to come up and say, hello, I'm from whichever country. And then a conversation can start. But some people are really scared of that, which is a shame.
Exactly, like the stereotypical saying is getting out of the comfort zone. We can say that here.
Yeah.
Okay, I will quote something, and I want you to tell me what do you think about it. Many people would be scared if they saw in the mirror not their faces, but their character.
Oh.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, instead of seeing our face, like the appearance, seeing our character, like every aspect of our character, isn't it?
Yeah, the true yourself. I mean, like what you hide in yourself, for example.
It would be horrible, first of all. Yeah, no one would like to see their bad sides, bad characteristics, because we are into considering ourselves a good person, especially while introducing ourselves to others, and like seeing our bad sides every time when we look at the mirror. Like there won't be any mirror on the world in that case, I guess.
All will be broken, you mean? Because
exactly.
Some people,
even not invented yet, I guess.
Black Mirror. And
Yes, it's a good quote. It's interesting. It makes you sort of sit and think for a moment. That's interesting. Oh, by the way, we've got Emacs has joined us in the chat as well. So that's nice of you to join. Thank you, Emacs.
And how can I say, Steve, I mean, like when you look at the mirror, you can, of course, tries to wear the clothes suits you. Or, for example, you put makeup for girls, for example.
I'm glad you said that. You put makeup? No, I don't put makeup on.
Yeah, me too. But for example, let's say even brush your hairs to make it in good way or something. So like to look good, you have control about like appearances. So you change things and because you want to look good. But think about like a mirror which reflect what you hide inside of you, in your heart, for example. So at that time, you have no control on it. As Katalea said, you would like just hate the mirrors.
Well, imagine all the dirty little secrets that you'd be hiding that would show up in the mirror. That would be awful.
And actually, in the mirror, you see it by yourself. Other people don't see it. Maybe you can accept it, get along with it, unless someone else, like a third-party person, see you.
Yeah, I'd never really thought about that before. Oh, we've got another user joined us. Che Rocky Stepmother has joined. That's an unusual name, but welcome.
I think it is Ami. All the time she keeps changing her name, and all the time she says to me, "Don't expose me, Ben." But yeah, why are you doing like long names? Pick a short one and I will not expose you. And actually, we were about to have Ami and Amanda together as a team in our podcast, but since Amanda couldn't make it, couldn't have Ami too. So next time, Ami, I hope. And another topic. Yeah, I don't want to just talk about my topic. Steve, if you have something in mind, please. Or Katalea, if you want to talk about something, you have the priority. Do you have something in mind, or should I continue our conversation as usual?
You may go on. I will go with the flow.
Okay. Steve?
Go with the flow.
It is a phrase, right? Like going with the flow?
Yeah, go with the flow of the way things are. Like go with the flow of the river. If you put a boat on a river, it'll go with the flow and float down with the stream of water.
So it is kind of like jumping on the bandwagon?
No, go with the flow is when you just go along with whatever is happening, whatever people are doing around you, you just go along with it. On the bandwagon is when you're...
you are doing things because it is trendy and many people do it already?
Yeah, or you're trying to make yourself known or make people take notice of you.
But like going with the flow, it is not like that. You just,
Not really,
you don't
no.
have preference, you mean, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So what about you? Do you have something?
Nothing in particular. I'm waiting for the poem.
Come on, we have time.
Yeah, but time's running out. Time's running out. Look at it. It's going tick, 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 tick. It's flying by. On the bandwagon thing, more and more people are getting on the bandwagon to denounce cigarette smoking. The expression alludes to a horse-drawn wagon carrying a brass band used to accompany candidates on campaign tours in the second half of the 1800s. That's what jumping on the bandwagon comes from.
Yeah, Katalea, I feel a little bit like we didn't allow you to talk so much. I will try to push you to talk a little bit, like, because you have a one-time shot. Maybe, actually, why it should be one time? Yesterday, we were like thinking about what can we have in the podcast or something, and you suggest like dialogues or something. And maybe we can prepare something and we can have you for another time.
Yeah, why not?
Mm-hmm.
We just kind of delayed the idea of playing already written theatrical plays, just with the reason of license and stuff. But we may even write our own and play it, I guess.
We can't write, and since Steve is here, I think he can help us. And you are an English teacher already.
Well, yes. Unwittingly, I happen to be an English speaker, so it happens that I could probably assist with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, we can do such a thing, actually. Steve, I mean, there are something really bothers me, especially in celebrations or something.
Mm.
For example, especially in birthdays or something, they just put some candles, stick it on the pie or the cake or whatever it is, and they light it, and then whoever the special day belong to who, come and just blow it like, make it like that and spit on the cake. And I hate eating that cakes, really. It bothers me so much, and I just want to understand why people do such hateful act.
Well, it's a traditional celebration, isn't it? They bring a cake on with however many candles. I mean, I think once you get over about 40, then they don't put 40 candles on. They just get a candle that says 4 and a candle that says 0. Otherwise, the smoke alarm would go off. And that's not good for anybody. But no, generally, I think most people swallow before they start to blow.
Swallow?
Yes, they swallow their spit before they start to blow.
But even though, Steve, I mean, like, there are some particulars we don't even see them. I mean, like, why? I mean, like, why do you... Yeah, okay, if you want to blow the candle, separate it from the pie and blow it in other place. Come on.
Yeah, stick the candles in a sponge and bring the cake out separately. Then if you do spit while you're blowing out the candles on the sponge, it will absorb them for you.
Yeah, definitely. And really it bothers me. And I don't care about like celebrating birthdays or special days, but like sometimes it happened to be I am there, and when they bring me some pie or something, I just, yeah, if I feel like the need to eat it because it will be like rude or something, I just skim, can I say skim, Steve? Cut a layer from the top and eat the rest.
You chop the top off and eat the bottom part.
Yeah, can I say skimming it? Or
trim it. You trim the top off.
Katalea, what would you say about this event, about these kind of activities or blowing the candles?
I'm not a quite fan of celebrating birthdays, actually, but there is only thing is on my mind, which is today is one of my best friend's birthday. It just brings on my mind, and I haven't celebrated her birthday yet, and it would be better if I just make a cake or buy it and put some candles on, because it's kind of tradition, even though it's not our own tradition, it's world's tradition. It would be way better. Yeah, it's just, even in this situation, people are so tend to go with the flow. Like, without doing that, without putting those candles over the cakes, it doesn't feel like you're celebrating a birthday.
I don't know, actually. Yeah, I mean, I wonder whoever invented that thing, what's the reason behind? Yeah, really. Go on, Steve.
Well, I'm still waiting for your poem. Time is running out.
Yeah, tell me when it reached to 25 minutes.
It's 25 minutes now.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just let me add something about... But this time, Steve, I think we didn't allow you to talk. Wow, okay. Oh.
No, I've been talking.
No, not much. I mean, like, I don't know. Katalea, you mentioned a good point. It is hard to find a girl and not caring about celebrations. Wow. It is hard to find people like you. Wow. I want to just congratulate you. You don't jump on the bandwagon.
Oh, it's a new phrase. Okay. Yeah, I kind of realized that it's kind of special to girls instead of boys to celebrate their best friend's birthday and stuff. You would do the same thing, actually, to your best friend, like from your childhood. You would do something good.
Mm-hmm. And actually, I many times, of course, didn't do that, even though for some friends gathering or something. I just avoided it, and they started to not care about me, and I am happy. I say it myself. Otherwise, yeah, you need to care, like, about this person, that person, and every week and something. Come on, just forget about it. And it is every year, repeat it. There is no end for it, no escaping from it.
Yeah, that is so true. So fortunately, I don't have so much best friends.
For people ask me or something, I said to them, you were already born, so why are you celebrating your birthday? Yeah, I mean, like, your mother, your father may celebrate it that day already, so why you are?
For me also, it's not that important to be celebrated, but if I remember my friend's birthday, I'm just sending a message. If they're close to me, we are just celebrating together. It's just a reason to be together and meet up. That's the only thing, yeah.
And what about you, Steve, and the celebrations?
Well, I'm not a great person for celebrations. When as you get older, and I'm getting older and older as each day goes by, I'm not really bothered. I don't celebrate Christmas because we don't have any children around. Christmas is nice when there are children, and you can see them having fun, opening their presents, and it's a joy. It's lovely to see. But when you've all grown up, it's not so much fun. Generally, people just get together at Christmas time and have a nice meal and just get together, the family. They may travel from quite a distance away as families move away from their hometown. But birthdays as well. I'm getting older now, so it's just another day to me. I'm not really bothered by it. I'll give my sister a ring on her birthday and wish her happy birthday, maybe see her. And when it's my birthday, they always say, do you want to go out for a meal, or shall we do something, or shall we do a barbecue? Like, no, it's just a normal day. Just wish me happy birthday and let's carry on.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, actually. Because sometimes you feel the peer pressure. People around you do the thing you just, even though you don't want it, you feel pressure somehow and to do it. Yeah.
Some people love to celebrate birthdays, and others are just like, I don't mind. So it's disappointing for the people that really like celebrating birthdays and going, whoa, it's somebody's birthday. And they'll go, and the person that's birthday is it's no big deal. It's just another year.
Yeah, for sure. We should feel sad because we are getting closer to death.
Yeah, one day closer to death.
Yeah, for sure. I think, should I delay the poem or should read it?
No, of course not.
Okay, let me...
We're on 30 minutes now.
Oh, really, Steve? Okay, let me just read it if I can edit it and put it. Maybe I can save time by editing because I repeated some parts. Maybe I can remove. Okay, it is a poem by Charles Bukowski, actually. So, You Want to Be a Writer, the poem name. It is really attracted me. And I want to share it with you.
Yeah, you don't have to praise the poem, just read it. We may decide at the end.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we'll tell you if it's any good at the end, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, actually, there are some parts in it I am not fully agree with. I will point it out at the end. Yeah. If it doesn't come bursting out of you in spite of everything, don't do it. Unless it comes unasked out of your heart and your mind and your mouth and your gut, don't do it. If you have to sit for hours staring at your computer screen or hunched over your typewriter searching for words, don't do it. If you are doing it for money or fame, don't do it. If you are doing it because you want women in your bed, don't do it. If you have to sit there and rewrite it again and again, don't do it. If it is hard work just thinking about doing it, don't do it. If you are trying to write like somebody else, forget about it. If you have to wait for it to roar out of you, then wait patiently. If it never does roar out of you, do something else. If you first have to read it to your wife or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your parents or to anybody at all, you are not ready. Don't be like so many writers. Don't be like so many thousands of people who call themselves writers. Don't be dull and boring and pretentious. Don't be consumed with self-love. The libraries of the world have yawned themselves to sleep over your kind. Don't add to that. Don't do it. Unless it comes out of your soul like a rocket. Unless being still would drive you to madness or suicide or murder, don't do it. Unless the sun inside you is burning your gut, don't do it. When it is truly time, and if you have been chosen, it will do it by itself, and it will keep on doing it until you die or it dies in you. There is no other way, and there never was. And that's it.
Well, I think that deserves a round of applause.
Exactly. I was going to do that.
Thank you.
It was perfect. Yeah, I haven't heard it.
Yeah, actually, the first time I heard it like a couple years back. Since then, it is in my heart. I like, unless it comes out of your soul like a rocket, I kept holding it. So I think at the end I couldn't hold it, and I wanted to share it with you. But just this sentence, this part, I am not fully agree with. I mean, like when it says, unless being still would drive you to madness, it's okay. But suicide, I don't know. But murder, no way.
No. No, you don't want to murder anybody.
Yeah, for sure. Suicide, that's also bad, but at least you are not harming other people. But madness, it's okay, like being crazy.
I think the poet doesn't mean those words literally, but figuratively.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Poems, as you said already, Katalea, exaggerations, part of the poetry, yeah.
Exactly. Also, there was a definition of writing a poem. It was like spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. Like the definition of writing a poem. It shouldn't be the reason, like I want to write a poem and go write it. It shouldn't be in that way. You need to feel things in a hard way, in a powerful way, then it will just flow out of your heart to the pages then.
As Charles Bukowski already pointed out, you mean?
Exactly.
And yeah, thank you, Katalea. Thank you, Steve. I would like to hear your last words.
Well, Katalea, ladies first, please.
Oh, thank you, actually. I'm glad that you gave me this chance to be with you in this podcast. And it's good. Keep going. Like, it really motivates English learners, especially. Keep going, guys. Good.
Thank
you, Katalea, for being with us. And Steve.
Well, I'd just like to say preemptively, thank you, Ben, for spending the time to do the editing of this podcast. Well done in advance.
Thank you so much. And I said, Steve, what do you mean? I haven't done it yet. Preemptive? Preemptive, it means like prior, like in advance?
Yes, before it happens.
Thank you, Steve. And I want to say thank you to our listeners and our live listeners as well, Savira and Emax. Thank you all. And I will end this episode with an addendum. I will read the same poem in another style. Till next time. So, you want to be a writer? Charles Bukowski. If it doesn't come bursting out of you in spite of everything, don't do it. Unless it comes unasked out of your heart and your mind and your mouth and your gut, don't do it. If you have to sit for hours staring at your computer screen or hunched over your typewriter searching for words, don't do it. If you are doing it for money or fame, don't do it. If you are doing it because you want women in your bed, don't do it. If you have to sit there and rewrite it again and again, don't do it. If it is hard work just thinking about doing it, don't do it. If you are trying to write like somebody else, forget about it. If you have to wait for it to roar out of you, then wait patiently. If it never does roar out of you, do something else. If you first have to read it to your wife or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your parents or to anybody at all, you are not ready. Don't be like so many writers. Don't be like so many thousands of people who call themselves writers. Don't be dull and boring and pretentious. Don't be consumed with self-love. The libraries of the world have yawned themselves to sleep over your kind. Don't add to that. Don't do it. Unless it comes out of your soul like a rocket. Unless being still would drive you to madness or suicide or murder, don't do it. Unless the sun inside you is burning your gut, don't do it. When it is truly time, and if you have been chosen, it will do it by itself and it will keep on doing it until you die or it dies in you. There is no other way. And there no was. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment you start to long for the next episode. Out of Order English podcast has just finished. Goodbye.
Out of Order
English podcast.